Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another tutorial video here on Paint.net. As always, we'll be using this program because of just all the amazing effects. I've gotten some more effects actually. Download a whole bunch more, so I don't know. But you don't really need too much for the tutorial here that I'm going to make today, which is about galaxies, making spacescape galaxies in Paint.net. So first of all here I'm just going to change the canvas size here to what I want it to be. You can have it literally whatever you want. I'm just gonna make it 1280 by 720, just basic monitor resolution. It's not my monitor resolution, but it's just, you know, whatever. So first of all, just you know, fill in the background here, if it will. Yes. Okay, there we go. You know, I guess we could just go ahead and make it a little bit dark blue. I mean, I don't know that really adds much, but you know, whatever. So we're just gonna add in some stars here, which I actually have a some more tips on how you should make your stars in your background. So when you have your background all good and stuff, do whatever you would normally do. Maybe just add a little bit of saturation, you know, whatever. And then so we're gonna add noise multiple times here. So the first time here, you want to add like hardly any. Make this around, you know, like 0.50 or something around there. So it's not too many. All right, and then if you really want to, you can Control F to make more, or what I do is add noise again, intensity a bit lower, and the coverage a bit higher. So you have like it makes it a little bit more like specific in terms of what you exactly want. Like you got some really bright stars, some really dim ones, and we'll do it one more time here. Do it intensity quite a lot lower this time, and coverage quite a bit more, so that it just adds a bit more depth to it, I guess, a little bit more detail. So anyways, we'll get onto the actual galaxies here. So you want to add a new layer, go to Effects, Render, and then go to Julia Fractal. This one you don't need a plugin for, it just comes with Paint.net. And this here is what you basically want here when making a galaxy, is just the Julia Fractal. It's just the best tool to have. So put this on like 0.90 because the zoom on 0.90 because it just doesn't, like, you want a little bit of space here on the top and bottom, so it's not like getting cut off at all. So you just want to make sure it's not like hitting any borders or anything. So just want to hit OK on that. It doesn't really matter too much on actually rendering this. It just depends on what we want to do now. So you can do this really whenever, but doing it right now is pretty good. So you can change the hue saturation to whatever color you want. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be making two different Julia Fractals, two different colors to make a galaxy. So we're going to start out with just a nice light blue here. Doesn't really matter which end of the spectrum here, I guess, but change whatever you want here. We're just going to go with the normal stuff. Brighter, you can make it a little bit brighter if you want, or a little darker, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to make it a little bit brighter, so I'm just going to press OK on that. And now we have this. So now what you want to do is go to, this is probably the most important part here. Let's see, I believe, yeah, twist. Distort, twist, just the normal one. And you can just play around this whatever you want to do. For me, I like to bring this a bit more size. That also doesn't really matter all too much. Of course, don't have it at that, but you can just play around with these settings for, you know, however long you want. But you want just a nice galaxy shape, so doing it right around there, that looks pretty good, so we'll just go with that. And before editing this too much, I'm going to make another one of the same size and everything, except it's a different color here, so I'm going to render in another one of these. Just save the settings, because we just used it, so, you know, we'll just press OK. And then this one here, hue and saturation, is actually going to be nice green color, so we're just gonna have some green and blue galaxy here. And after you're completely done with both these, you can, you know, switch the layers, see what looks best here in terms of color and all that. One thing though, like when you're making these, you do glow. That really makes it look nice, but you do that last, otherwise it just screws everything up. I mean, I don't know, for me, I've just had bad times with doing that first. So anyways, do twist on this as well. And also, I'm going to, instead of having it be the exact same settings here, I'm going to make it probably a little bit more, oh god, not too much. Turn the size down a little bit. Just so you have two different patterns here to work with. Quality really doesn't matter, it just depends on, or just, for this video I'm going to make it lower because, so I can render these in quicker. But anyways, so, what we want to do next is, I mean, you can go a number of ways when you're making a galaxy. You can blur it, which I typically don't like to blur it because, I don't know, just like when you're working with something on such a large scale as like such a galaxy, you want it to look high definition, and blurring it makes it just kind of look worse in my opinion. So instead of that, we're going to go to distort and dense. Dense is just an absolutely fantastic tool that I absolutely love. But for the sake of the galaxy here, we're just going to make these settings really low. Actually just kind of mess around with these a little bit here. You can make this, you know, of course, whatever you want. But we're just going to go with a bit lower here.
3 hours later.
Alright, so I think I'm going to go with this here. It's just like, it's very speckled, I guess. And, you know, it's just like, instead of blurring it, doing this just makes it look so much better, I think. So, I think I'm going to do that with this bottom one as well. Yeah, why not? So, we're just going to go distort, dense it again. And, yeah, let's do it with the same settings. And just for a little added effect here, I'm just going to, actually, no, I'll do that later. I'll add some more stars into here later, but, for now, this is what we have here, so you can mess around with these. Let's see. I think I'm gonna have it like that, and then have this like sort of blend into it. So I'm just gonna go through these, and try to find something that looks good. You know what? Actually, this actually looks pretty good. Using negation, you know, I think. Let's see, lighten, darken, screen, and the really weird setting Zor. Just I don't even know what it does. Makes it just look weird. I might use this or negation. You know, for this, we're gonna use negation because it's a little bit brighter, a little bit glowy. So your next step is to make the center of the galaxy, because you know it's really bright in there. So you're gonna make a new layer. You're gonna go and actually use the gradient tool, select radial, and then you can have, let's see, your secondary should be opaque, completely, or not opaque, but like your opacity should be 0 on your secondary color. Oh my god, just get over here. Okay. Anyways, this can be white, or it can be, you know, just a really light color or something like that. So, let's see. We're just gonna go with that, I guess. Alright, so it's on radial, it's on color, whatever. You just want it to be in the center of the galaxy. I'm actually gonna make 2 of these. So the first one is just gonna be a really big one. That's just gonna radiate from the galaxy here, and it's actually gonna be a little bit greener, maybe. That looks nice. And we'll change some settings in a bit here. Let's get that out of our way. And now that we have this here, just finish. Now we can just play around with this. We can do really pretty much anything, but I think I'm mainly, it already looks pretty good, so I'm just gonna mess around with the layer properties, and that should be good. It's always good to just experiment with different things. Like that looks pretty cool. It just adds some color to it. We're going to make that a little bit dimmer. And this isn't necessarily the center of the galaxy, but this is just, you know, sort of a radial thing here that we're making right now. But right about there looks good. So you can have them in the same layer. I'm just gonna have them in different layers just because whatever. So I can mess around with stuff a lot later. But this color is actually really good, so I'm going to use this for the center as well. This is actually turning out pretty well. So that looks about good right there. And let's see, we can do a number of things here. We can make it glow, but we're not going to do that yet, again, because I want to get everything in place before I start adding glow to everything. And that actually looks pretty good. One extra thing here that really helps make galaxies look really nice is, it's a bit tedious, but, you know, I want to make stuff look good here. So I'm going to grab the paintbrush, go completely white, and we're going to really zoom in on this galaxy here. Pretty far, and what we're going to do is just add, let's see, let's make this like 3. You're just adding a bunch of little white dots everywhere on a separate layer here, the very top layer. And so you just want to create a bunch of little white dots all around the place, just to add some more little stars to everything. Alright, so yeah, that looks pretty good. So now that you have that, you want to go to Effects, go to Blur with the same layer, and Gaussian Blur. You want it to be really low number, maybe 1, maybe 2. We'll go with 1. Just a little slight blur, just so it's not too like whatever. I don't know. You just want it to glow a little bit better. So we're also gonna add the glow effect right now. It doesn't really matter when it's just these little tiny stars. You can just add glow. It doesn't really matter. So if radius full, you don't want it to be too bright, but it just adds a little bit more to it. So that's good. It doesn't really matter too much. This is just like one of the minor steps you can add that makes it look a little bit better. It doesn't really matter actually. I'm gonna make them a little bit more or a little bit less opaque. That looks about good. You don't have to worry about that step too much, but it just adds a little bit to your galaxy. It makes it look nice. So, you know what? I'm gonna do something that I don't normally do with galaxies. And let's see. So I'm gonna add it, I think, in between the layers actually, just sort of sandwich it in there. So what you want to do is just grab your paintbrush, make it a decent sized brush, maybe a bit smaller than that, and just add whatever color would fit your color palette here. So I'm just gonna go with a nice deep blue color, and just create some like sort of nebulas in there, some swirling nebulas. So I'm just gonna add some color into it and do this. You can add however much or however little, I guess. I'm just sort of experimenting here at this point because why not? So once you have that, I guess I'm gonna blur it at about, let's see, 45 maybe. Is that good? 45? Yeah, that looks pretty good. 45. All right, and then add dense to it. Let's see, distort, dense. Dense is pretty much your best friend when it comes to making spacescapes and anything. It's just really nice. So I'm gonna go with 200, I think. Refraction. Oh god. Yeah, it looks alright. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna add this below that. Just to it so it sort of does that. And you know, it's looking pretty good. So I think this is pretty much our final steps here. So what you want to do, doesn't really matter what layer you start on, I guess. I'm just gonna start from the very bottom layer, which is this. And rotate, zoom, just to make it a little bit easier. I'm gonna make it so I can't see those. I'm gonna go layers, rotate, zoom, and just play around with this. Make a nice little angle for it all. And you might be wondering why I'm doing this like just like not all together. Like I could just flatten these all together and then do it like that. But I want all these layers separately so I can later on like adjust them. So let's see. We're gonna make it like that, maybe zoomed in just a little bit. And what's good about this is it doesn't really matter if they're all separate layers because you can just go to every single one. Layers, rotate, zoom, the settings are already there, so it's gonna be in the same exact place as the last one. So now we're just gonna do this to every layer. And so now it just all goes into place. Okay, so you're pretty much done. At this point, it's really just messing around with these and adding glow effects and stuff like that. And the reason why you want to add the glow effect last is because when you go to this and say you make it really bright, let's see if I can do it. I don't know, most of the time it'll like affect the entire screen and make it like all of it a little bit brighter, which is a little bit weird, but whatever. So let's just mess around with this here. That looks alright. I'm actually gonna make this layer glow because it'll make it look a little bit better. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much it. When it comes to making galaxies, you can, you know, spend however much time you want on it. Pretty much the more the better. There's not really any limits to what you can do with this, and you know, you can add nebulas, you can do whatever you want. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and hope it helped, and thanks for watching.